Sorry for the technical difficulties, everybody. All right, we're here. So sorry for the technical difficulties. This is something new for me. I've never done this before, and I've always wanted to. For the last few months, I've been thinking about it and been nervous about it. And here we go. Here we go. So today we're talking about three awesome movies that recently come out. And to start this off, I want to start with something personal. I didn't get into horror film history because I wanted to become a critic. I wanted to do it because I find it fascinating. And I think that it's cool to see how the scary stuff was made, and not just the jump scares, but more so the architecture around the dread. And tonight, I'm going to show you three filmmakers who took that exact passion and interest and point it at a camera and end up with a phone call from A24 and Neon. So without further ado, here we go. Here are the three films. We have three films, three directors, one thread connecting all of them. They built their audience before they built their budget. Tonight, we're doing Hokum, Obsession, and the Backrooms. And by the end of this stream, you're going to understand why exactly Hollywood came to YouTube, not the other way around. All right, here we go. All right, so we're going to start with Hokum. Didn't know anything about this movie going in, and my wife once, closer to when it first started coming out, she said, Wayne, let's go check this movie out. I knew nothing of it. Didn't see trailers. She said her friend saw it and said it was really good. So we went and saw it, and it was great. I liked it. I mean, it left you with a certain kind of vibes throughout, but it was cool. Damian McCarthy, Irish director who made Caveat in 2020, with basically no money. Neon picked it up after it went viral in horror circles. And then he made Oddity, same thing, micro budget, massive buzz. And then Neon said, whatever you want to make next, we'll fund it. That film is Hokum, and it just premiered at Sundance not that long ago, and it was absolutely, definitely worth the view. I was taken back by a few things with it. I actually wrote down here some notes, but as far as like something that really stood out to me was Adam Scott's performance. Adam Scott takes a major swing at being more so on a serious level than a comedic role that I'm used to seeing him as. Like the last time I saw him really truly was in Step Brothers, which was quite some time ago. So since then, he has been busy, and Adam Scott takes a major swing here, and you won't like him at first. He's not, so you're not supposed to. He's a jerk, and what's cool with how this film goes is you basically, throughout the time of the film, you start to change your opinions about him and start to root for him, which I always love those kind of stories. Side note, little pause before we get too far in. I'm going to try my best um, not to give away too much, but so I'm not trying to do spoilers, but it might slip out depending on what happens. So heads up, that's what's going on with that. But anyway, so moving on. So another thing is the Scott's stillness versus screaming. So looking at his performance, he's not doing a lot of jump scares. He's not running. He's not screaming. He's a man who knows something is catastrophically wrong and has no way to prove it. Um, there's an internalized dread, which is 10 times harder to perform, in my opinion, than jump scare reactions. And McCarthy specifically cast him because he needed someone who could communicate terror through stillness. And I think Adam Scott does a great job at this. The atmospheric tension in this movie, and the sound design is phenomenal. And when again, for those that haven't seen it, you'll understand when you see it. For those who have seen it, oh my God, you're gonna love it, I think. And then another thing is the practical build and silence between the hits. It's not a visual effects budget with the decisions that McCarthy made. What it actually is McCarthy built this movie practically. Real props, real shadow work, real set construction. CGI would totally make this a whole different experience, and I think it would take away from it, actually, to be honest. And go back and you listen before the scares lands in the movie. Most directors fill those scares typically with score, music. And McCarthy pulls the music completely and makes it just simply silent. And that dread vacuum of silence, your brain panics and starts inventing the threat, which always is, which is a great thing to happen where your mind's doing a lot of the work. But another cool thing that was awesome about this film was the horror blend with the whodunit mystery. The McCarthy didn't just make a horror film, he built mystery inside it, and you're watching two movies at once, and both of them are unhinged. It isn't just a haunted house movie. It's as people start disappearing, the film pivots into detective mode, and with the Irish Inn and ghost folklore, who's covering what. It equals layers of narrative, and it's really cool. Really cool how they did this. And another thing is the exploration of the exploration of internal guilt. This movie uses the supernatural to say something real about shame, guilt, trauma, and the people we hurt. And that's the kind of horror that sticks with you after the movie's over and you go home. And that would explain what I felt anyway, personally, after going home after this movie, which again, knew nothing of. And I think that's cool to experience something that I have no idea what it's about or who's in it. And another note I made too is the use of Irish folklore. I could be slaughtering this, so sorry ahead of time, but I think it's the Ciac. McCarthy taps into his Irish roots and the regional ghost stories. And he totally takes the mythology and he weaves it together. And this isn't just a movie set in Ireland. It is Ireland. Like the folklore isn't a decoration. It's the mechanism by which evil is punished. And it's his signature across all three of his films. He didn't just set this movie in Ireland, really. He let Ireland write the ending. And the Gaelic hag isn't just a monster, she's the consequence. So, pretty cool stuff. Something that I will say, I was curious to see what other people thought of the film that were kind of like, there's some areas of opportunity or they didn't like it or whatever. And here's some things that I notated that are interesting to me. Too many characters and subplots. The haunted hotel gets crowded. You're tracking too many people when you should be scared. I disagree with that. Yes, there were characters that were introduced, and I think they all play their part respectively. And I think it's kind of cool how yeah, there's like stuff being thrown at you, and you kind of have questions. But what's cool is everything comes together, and little bits of answers come throughout the story. And by the end, you know pretty much what everything you might have been questioning. Um, Another people said predictable jump scares. Uh, there were some you may have been anticipating, in my opinion, but there were some where it completely surprised me, especially the first, we'll say roughly the first 10 minutes. I'll leave it at that. But again, really cool. Confusing hotel layout. Someone said, I lost track of where we were twice. The geography worked against the tension, and that's a problem. Again, I disagree with that because I'm not focused on the geography of the hotel. I think that the way it was, again, portrayed and done, it makes sense, like especially when you get through it. Again, not trying to spoil anything, but you're trying to you're seeing the secret passages and stuff that the normal public won't see. So anyway, I disagree with that one. And then the last one I notated here is uneven visual style. The horror sequences are stunning. The dialogue scenes, you can feel the budget. Criminal waste of craft, I 100% disagree with that because in visual storytelling, in my opinion, this is my opinion, visual storytelling, when you have distinct visuals or scene layouts or ways things are shot where it's supposed to be different than other parts of it, that's storytelling. That's breaking up and having the director take you through his story and give you an experience rather than keeping it all the same mono or all the same style. When it breaks it up, in my opinion, you connect more with your characters and your story. So that's my opinion. But anyways, what do I know? Anyway, I want to touch real quick on the budget too with this. Last I checked, Damian McCarthy, this budget was $5 million and it profited $24 million, which, wow, that's good. That's a huge win. So I think that's awesome. Awesome stuff. So with that said, I have a little prompt. And again, sorry, I am new at this, so I don't even know if I'm doing it. But the prompt is drop eyes in chat if you have seen Caveat or Oddity. And is Hokum on your watch list? Have you seen it? Have you not seen it? Are you going to see it? Let me know. I would love to hear from what people think. And yeah, let's take a second and check it out. Oh, got some no's going. Okay, that's fair. Let's see here. Okay, did jump scares let? Okay, no. Okay, cool, excellent. Well, so far so good, I would say. I'm gonna move on then if no one else has any objections with that. Let's see. All right, so this next film, this one, wow, I have to say, um, the next one is Obsession, and the oh yeah, sorry, I see in the chat, crazy amount of profit that made. Yes, and there's gonna be more coming. There's gonna be more coming in these other two. Wait till you see that. So lost my place. Sorry. Okay, here we are. All right, so the next one is Obsession. But then, so when you sorry, that was an accidental button push. Ha! Welcome back. Anyways, so the next one is Obsession, and with Obsession, sorry, my buttons got all weird. This one I saw the trailer for, and I was completely taken back on how intense this was. Curry Barker, 26 years old, uh, at the time of filming this, made Obsession under $1 million. And Focus Features, the same studio that uh, the same studios behind Downtown Abbey, Brokeback Mountain, Eternal Sunshine. Uh, they bought it, and then they had to fight the MPAA to keep it from NC-17 rating. Um, let that sink in. Like, and if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you'll understand. It's intense, and it's so good. um, but there's something too. Before I get too into this one, is I learned throughout my readings about this, people accused Curry Barker of ghost directing. And I absolutely thought that was so sad to hear, because first off, he's a young guy doing great things. He's earning his way through the lines and doing his dues, and he gets his break in. And it's sad, because first off, it's just people throwing out noise, throwing out dirt on this guy's name. He had a lot of help as far as his producers go, as far as getting it going, but as far as the directing goes, that was all him. So I'm going to show you some stuff here in a second regarding the NC-17 conversation, but just saying, like, it kind of sucks that people are trying to pull down this guy's reputation when it's not deserved. This guy's doing great stuff. Some strengths about this film: the flipping of the nice guy trope. Now, again, trying not to spoil anything, but the lead character's name is Bear, and he isn't the protector. He is the threat, and you don't see it coming. And that's the entire point. The constant tension, no jump scares. What's cool too is the 4:3 aspect ratio, tight frame. You're trapped with the character that if you see the trailer or you've seen the movie, you'll know who I'm talking about. But that was all a deliberate choice by this young director, which is brilliant. It did a great job at capturing the tension and keeping you sucked in and feeling trapped. I might slaughter her name, so I apologize. Inde Navarrette, her performance, she's doing three things at once, which is phenomenal, and that is she's terrified, heartbroken, and funnier than she should be. And we'll get into the mixture of that in a second. But the box office success, this was huge. Made more money in the second weekend than it did its first. And that, for a horror film, that doesn't happen that often, I think. And that's through word of mouth. And again, we'll get into certain stuff in a little bit here about this. But the budget... Oh, sorry. That's why. I am so sorry, guys. Here, we're talking about Curry Barker. But I'm going to show you this clip, okay? And this is an exclusive clip that I found that is pretty much what they were promoting to grab people and get their attention in on this film. It's intense. Here's a little taste. Sorry. But yes, you gotta watch it. It's so good. So good. Anyway, sorry. So the performance by everyone is awesome, and this is what's going to lead to the NC-17 possibilities. But the lead performance carries scenes that nearly got the NC-17 rating, and it does it without going explicit. The MPAA was concerned enough to flag it because the perform. Okay, so what causes that is the performance was so convincing enough that it felt real, and Barker shot it entirely through reaction, not action, and the camera is always on the face, not the event, and that was all decided by, again, a 26-year-old director, which awesome. That's so cool. Um, the visuals, for anyone who has seen the movie, um, the it's the use of makeup, practically, but it's like, to, I would say, a minimal, like, and lighting. Between that and the lighting, it was so scary and intense. And then when I looked at the behind the scenes of how they did that, or what we were looking at, I was like, whoa, that is so. There's not a lot going on. Like, there's enough to go on, but not like crazy, like, effects of how like how people get really crazy done up and everything, and like they look completely different. But when you look at the makeup they did in the movie and then behind the scenes and then compare it, it's like, whoa, that just that, like, we'll say little touch compared to, goes a long way, along with lighting. So awesome stuff. And the sound design, there I took note here. I've read something about how they did their sound design. The score starts below the threshold of conscious hearing, a frequency you feel before you hear, and it rises across the film to mirror the lead's psychological unraveling. And Barker worked with his composer to sync the frequency to a resting heartbeat. By the time you notice it, your pulse has already matched it. So as you're going through the movie, you are physically feeling the tension and you just feel uneased. That's what I felt the whole time, and especially by the end, without giving too much away. Oh my God! Again, it's an experience and totally different from Hokum, and that's what I love about these movies too. They're all different vibes and different styles, and they're all doing great stuff. So real quick on just a couple notes about things that people said that they didn't like, that I don't know how I feel about that. It says here there was issues with ending relied too much on violence. Without going into detail, if you've seen it, you know what I'm saying. But I think the way that the film ended and it was made to end, uh, I think that, yeah, no spoilers. I'm working on it, so I think I'm doing okay. um, but the ending relied too much on violence. I think there. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of violence, but I think it's impactful. It makes sense. It says here the final goal is hard, maybe too hard. Everything that came before earned something quieter and more devastating. Nah. I think. Oh, yes, I agree. The lighting was perfectly done and adds to a. Yes, I agree with you 100%. Um, but yeah, sorry. Uh, Now here we go. The second thing that people had an issue with, there's an alternate ending. And how about this? I won't give the name of the character, so maybe that doesn't spoil it for you. But a character dies versus not dying in the end. And I guess there is another version where this character dies. And it exists, and Barker chose not to do that. And people are saying, they're questioning, was that the wrong call? I don't think so. I think the way that this movie was made was done so well. I wouldn't change a thing. I would be curious to see how it would feel. I think the ending, you would feel different if he were to do it the way people are saying the alternate ending would be. And then the final third one would be lean too hard on thriller tropes. When it defaults to familiar beats, the sharper themes, obsession, consent, entitlement get buried. That's the real crime. I disagree with that comment altogether. I think there was a healthy balance, healthy, mindful awareness in all the decisions made for this film. And I think they did a great job. Now, I do have this clip about the NC-17 thing. Here's a little clip for y'all.
You guys were on the verge of getting an NC-17 rating.
Yeah. I mean, at first I was really nervous and scared because the reaction that we got at TIFF was so amazing. And I kind of was just like, guys, like, I don't want to mess with that. Like, that's a scene I don't want to touch. There, like, even if I spent all this time working on it, there's a magic sometimes to a way you cut something that, like, you don't know if the magic's gonna stay if you cut it a different way or whatever. So I was so scared to like touch that scene, but I had to, and so I cut it down. And I don't think the integrity of the scene is gone.
I'm trying to think of what that scene looked like uncut.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was awesome. So
yeah. Again, sorry for the button pushes being incorrect sometimes. Anyways, I'm learning. Anyways, okay, so really quickly, talking about this budget. This is pretty impressive. So, Curry Barker, his budget was $750,000. And it profited, last I checked, at $150 million, but I think in my current notes, we're more closer to $286 million. Okay, so again, anyone who says this guy, I could see where that would raise some questions of why this movie is doing so well. Watch the movie, you'll know why it's doing so well. Quit giving the guy crap. That's my opinion. Unless you have some proof that he didn't direct it, which is absolute BS. Yeah, no, it's good. But anyway, is on top of that, those numbers, definitely, let's look at those numbers. Yeah, oh yeah. That's enough to tell me this movie's worth at least checking out. So, yeah. So that's that. Let's do a little chatteroo here, huh? Yeah, here we go. Let's see it. Here we go. Sorry, a little chat prompt. Should Barker have used the ending where a certain character dies? Yes or no? I guess this is more so for people that have seen it. So if you haven't seen it yet, obviously you probably won't be able to answer that, but that's okay, right? That's okay. Here's one we can probably answer. NC-17 or R rating? Does it matter to you? To me, it wouldn't have mattered. I would have saw it. I'm curious what the other cut would have looked like. That would have been quite interesting. So, but yeah, that's where we're at now. So, on to let's see here. Let's see. People want. Yeah. Yes, I agree with you 100%. People want real horror films that genuinely scare you and aren't made by Hollywood. Not saying Hollywood can't make good horror films. Not saying they haven't. But I think, and when we get towards the end of this, I'll get to my conclusion of all my thoughts on that. But yes, I agree. People want to see real horror films, not coming out of the Hollywood machine. At least not the way it has been. Yeah, both cuts. And that's the crazy too, that a cut can adjust a rating like that, and when you see the movie, you can see where it's kind of questionable too with some of the choices they did make in a good way. But all right, let's roll on to our third and final film, shall we? Let's see. Now, this last one is Kane Parsons' The Backrooms, or Backrooms. Now, I have two clips here I'm going to show you guys here in a moment. One clip is on the film that he initially made on YouTube. But let me back up a minute. So, Kane Parsons, teenager, blender, no budget, posted a found footage video to YouTube about the Backrooms internet myth, and 78 million views on this initial YouTube movie that he made. YouTube short, might I add, YouTube short. 78 million views. Tell me that's not impressive, okay? And then A24, one of the most respected one of the most respected horror studios on the planet, picked up the phone, called this guy, and says, "Hey, we got some business." And I think that's cool. So, with that said, I'm going to show you 2 clips, okay? The first one is what A24 watched, what the 78 million views got, okay? And then after that, I'll show you just a clip. The clip, these are clips, they're not the full thing, but it's like a 2-minute clip of the original, and then a little clip of what A24 did, okay?
Sound, camera,
Rolling.
all right, and action. All right, cut. That was good, guys. All right, that was good. I'm thinking we get a wide angle, and then we're done. Okay?
All right. Yeah. Cool. Like how much further? Like
A little more. A little more.
that?
Yeah. Whoa.
Hello? Hello? Hey guys. What is this? Hello? Is someone there?
All right, so now we're going to see what A24 did with this concept, and also continuing to keep the original director. Oh, and there you go. Now, I think this one's different though. For me, we're gonna get into that in a minute, but as far as this is some notes I made of why it works. I think fear of empty spaces. The horror isn't necessarily a monster; it's the absence of people in places where they should be. No clipping idea, like you step in a wrong spot and you're already somewhere, somewhere else. Expanding the lore of the async research. Again, now there's like a whole, like I said, a lore on this. I have not yet read or educated myself on this. My wife was telling me about this actually, but I would like to learn more about that. Another thing that, as far as the original goes, the analog horror style, like the VHS 4:3 ratio found footage. Parsons was 16 when he made that, and making it look older than it was, and it's crafty. It's brilliant how he did that, or chose to do that, I should say. And then the atmospheric sound, the fluorescent buzz, which is like damp carpet you can almost smell, and the sound does everything the visuals can't. So again, another elements that play in. Now, some notes I found that I liked about this is the performance, and I not necessarily, our main actors, which they did a phenomenal job as far as the performance goes. But, oops, I'm sorry, wrong button again. But the the camera is the actor. Like, there are no actors per se in the Backrooms in the traditional sense, but Kane Parsons is the performance. Every choice about where the camera is placed, how long shots are held, how long shots can be held, and what to show, what not to show. Um, that's the acting. Like, that really creates the whole experience with both films, really, but especially the first one. In the found footage horror, restraint is the skill, and the choice to pull the camera away at the exact moment the threat becomes visible is harder to execute than a perfectly delivered monologue, and Kane did it at 16 when he did the initial one. So he really grabbed the right attention from the right people, in my opinion, and a massive audience too. Zero budget forces environmental horror. So what this note means is there was no makeup department, no costume budget, no construction beyond what was already existing. The Backrooms works because it looks real, not because it looks scary. And Kane shot it in real locations, office buildings, empty commercial spaces, places like that. And when you have no budget, especially, as a lower level, nobody at the time filmmaker, it forces you to have to think outside of the box and basically forced to find what's already terrifying about the world around you. So I agree. This is the way movies should be made. That's a lesson most Hollywood productions with $10 million budgets never learn. And if you think about it, with that kind of money, that scale, imagine, and as a producer, you're supposed to try to make that money last and go where it should go, which is hard in itself. But imagine take that concept alone of, okay, what can we do without spending this? If we pretend it wasn't there, what can we do to finesse it? But cut down the budget, and then who knows, maybe people can have other opportunities with the money. Who knows? Anyway, what do I know? I'm not a Hollywood guy. And anyway, yeah, so the last note I have as far as something that is really cool about this movie is the sound design, the hum, the fluorescent hum. Kane, in the original one, Kane recorded the hum himself. Not a stock footage library clip. He actually picked up a frequency, and it sits just below the threshold of comfortable hearing, and not loud enough to consciously register, but not quiet enough to tune out. So it's just like there kind of thing. And it does not stop. It's constant, and your nervous system processes it as a persistent low-level threat, which helps create that unease. And when that's done in the theater, oh man, yeah, you definitely feel uneased in there and how they did their sound design. And it also makes you physically feel stressed. So, some notes on what people didn't like or thought had areas of opportunity. Over explaining the lore. It says here, the second you explain the Backrooms, they stop being infinite. Mystery is the horror. You killed your own monster. I don't know. I personally, not knowing much about the lore, maybe if I knew more about the lore, I would buy into that. I'm not sure. I have to, I guess, see what other people think about that one. The next one is adding too many monsters. It became a video game. Creatures have stats now. You're strategizing instead of fearing. That's over. I disagree with that. While I have confusion about certain things with this film as it progressed towards the middle and end, or I have questions, I should say, because I got lost a little bit. I don't think the amount of monsters or creatures you see in this movie take away from it. I do think if and I have to read the lore. I think that if you're not aware of the lore, you're going to be confused, like me, because I didn't fully understand certain aspects of what was being talked about. And again, I'm trying not to give away any information that is going to spoil the movie. Abandoning the yellow rooms, malls, pools, other levels, but the endless yellow hallways were the whole thing. They abandoned their own icon. I disagree. The fact that they expanded on this, in my opinion, gave it more depth, more chaos, more fear, more things to be concerned about. So, um, you know, I guess I respectfully disagree. I think that the expansion of the world that Parsons built is phenomenal. I think it adds to it, in my opinion. And then this last one is where I will agree. Confusing human replicas, still lifes, as I think what they called it in the movie. Distorted copies of people, unsettling on paper, but nobody agreed on what they meant. Ambiguity done wrong. I will say, as far as the still lifes, yeah, I have questions. And again, maybe if I watch again and or I read more of the lore, it'll make more sense. But yeah, there's aspects of that I kind of lost it. I lost my understanding of what's going on. So like, and my other question that with the confusion, if I say it, if you haven't seen it, it'll spoil it. So I guess I'll have to maybe wait and see where things go with the comments. But with that said, let me see where I'm at here and my little notes. So there's one more clip I have. It's a bonus clip of it goes back to the whole thing with ghost directing, and people again accused Kane of doing. They accused Kane of doing that, and because he had also a major backing with people mentoring him, and it's understandable why that would be, I guess, a question. But at the same point, again, this guy did it all himself. He started out with the original, and he was given the opportunity to make the feature-length film and do an even more in-depth job. Why can't the guy just have his glory, you know? But yeah. So as far as, I think I might have skipped something, so I apologize. But just to give you a little quick look here are just some stills of what we are seeing in the movie, and also that was taken from the original. And this is the movie, like as far as like the sets that they would use, practical and already pre-built structures. Now, I haven't done the research on the A24 version. I'm sure they had maybe built their sets. They had to have, to certain degrees, I would assume. But as far as Kane's original version, yeah, good stuff. Let's look at that budget. Kane Parsons had a $10 million budget, and last I checked, he profited $126 million. Not him, but the movie. And that's a huge win, in my opinion. And we definitely, I think, will be seeing more Kane Parsons in the future. But still, so good job, man. You played your cards great. You did a wonderful job with the first one and now the big one. Even though I'm still unsure how I felt about it overall. I mean, I liked it, but I just had some questions at the end. I think that great job. As far as the next chat prompt, let me let's take a little chat promperoo here, right? Here we go. When did the Backrooms lose you? Drop the exact moment. I want to hear it, assuming you've seen it. I don't know. Some of you might not have seen it yet. I'll give you a little bit of time to look at that. But for now, while we are just about wrapping up the whole conversation about him ghost directing, which is definitely not true. Here's a little clip as he breaks down some of the one of the scenes to show you he knows his stuff.
Hey, I'm Kane Parsons, and today I'm going to be breaking down a scene from my new film, Backrooms. So the scene opens with, we once again see Clark sleeping inside of his furniture store. We have this lighting set up. We debated what we wanted to do with the lights for the sort of nighttime look of the film, Jeremy Cox and I, the DP. We have like a pretty advanced control system over all of the fluorescent overheads, so we can sort of, play with those, and you can see throughout the film, flicker them on and off here and there, but here we decided for the night look, we wanted to sort of let these display lamps be on their own separate power supply that's sort of operating separate of the weirdness that's happening. Have him there is watching television. Looks up again, and he is going to go storm down to the basement and investigate, because this has been going on too long, and at this point it's just got to stop.
I think he knows what he's talking about, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, as far as our next chat prompt before we get rolling up here is for Kane's, which scared you more if you've seen them both, Kane's original or the A24 version? I want to see where people divide if anyone here has seen it. If not, I guess I'll find out later. But so that is our next chat prompt. And now we conclude, let me get the final stuff going here. We have 3 directors, 3 films, 3 different entry points into Hollywood. McCarthy built a viral catalog. Barker made something so provocative, a major studio had to fight for it. And Kane Parsons posted a YouTube video in his bedroom and got a call from A24. What do they all have in common? None of them wait for permission. They didn't wait for permission. They made the thing and let the audience decide. As I hope that we start to, now that we have 3 really solid guys out there doing this stuff now, I really hope that this is the new age of filmmaking and horror movies especially, and we stop following the Hollywood machine in their usual destruction of the art, if you will. But none of them waited for permission, and yeah, they made the thing and let the audience decide on its fate, really, and how it really is. And that's not a YouTube strategy. That's the oldest filmmaking strategy there is. So take that into thought. Final note here. Which director, let me pull up this chat prompt for you real quick. Which director that I've talked about today, most impressive Hollywood entry? We have Kane, McCarthy, and Barker. What do you think? Out of these individuals, which one had the most interesting and impressive Hollywood entry? So, in my opinion, I mean, I think not all of them really cool. I will say Kane Parsons, he had, I think Kane is pretty much definitely the one that impressed me the most out of everyone. But yeah, let's see. Let's see what you all think. Lore is creepy, but need to see in theaters still. Yes, I agree with you. You definitely should see in theaters, and yes, I also agree. Kane all the way. Yeah, again, respect for the other guys, but his story definitely impressed me the most. So. A little note here. I started Silver Screen Synergy because I believed in the same thing these directors proved tonight, and that's if you know the dark history of how films are really made, and the cursed sets, and the secrets, and the things the studios don't want you to know, the knowledge belongs to everyone, and not just critics, not just academics, anyone who's ever sat in a dark room and felt something a movie made them feel. So before I sign off, if you have any feedback, if you have any critiques, if you liked, didn't like, I would love feedback because I'm trying to improve my craft here. I hope you enjoyed. And yeah, I'm Wayne. This is Silver Screen Synergy. And the scariest thing about everything we broke down tonight, it wasn't on the screen. It was standing behind the camera. And now, go watch them if you dare. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.